way, somehow. I don't know if it was God. I don't know what it was, but I'm clocking her. Like, I'm rocking her shit. Like, I'm beating her ass.
Yeah, go. Bitch, I bring you back. Stop playing with bitch, I bring you back. Yo, back. Bitch, I bring you back. Stop playing with bitch, I bring you back. Yeah, go. Bitch, I bring you back. Stop playing with bitch, I bring you back. Yeah, go.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I know the lighting is not the best, but I don't want to use the ring light because I got my glasses on. And I'm sorry if you guys can hear some banging or anything, but my mom is, the constructors are here constructing my house. So basically, today I'm going to be talking about my first fight. I've done this video so many freaking times, y'all. Like, I talked about the time that I whooped this trick so many times. I'm just kidding. But I'm going to be doing that for story time today. And I know I'm real close to the camera, but because I don't have anywhere to go and my bed is a mess, y'all. So sorry about that too. So now that I got all my sorries out the way, let's get right into it. So this started I believe it was my third, wait, it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, 12, 6, 7, 8. All right, so I think it was my 7th grade year. And I was still in middle school because you're in middle school up until 8th grade. And so I was still in middle school, you know, I was doing my thing. And I was on the cheerleading team. I was on a cheerleading team for my city. And I met this girl named Carmax. In the last story, when I recorded this the first time, I named her Carmax, so that's why it's not hard for me to remember her name. So I met this girl named Carmax. She was on the cheerleading team that my sister was on, but she was my year. She was my grade. And so yeah, we met. We was cool and everything, but we didn't meet at school yet, because we was never in the same cluster. So we had clusters in my middle school where it was like one cluster was like, you know, C1 cluster, and it was one group of kids, and then the other cluster was C2 and it was another group of kids. So we would have we're in the same grade, but we're just not in the same cluster, so we wouldn't have ever had the same classes, so, or the same teachers. So one year, so the 7th grade year, we were put in the same cluster. I believe it was 7th grade. It might have been 6th grade, but we were put in the same cluster. I think it was 6th grade, y'all. I messed up. It was 6th grade, my first year of middle school. So we was put in the same cluster, and I had a friend at school already that always was in the same cluster as me, was always in the same classes as me, and her name was Kiki. So we ended up becoming like the Three Musketeers. It was me, Carmax, and Kiki. We was all together all the time. And I feel like I kind of brought the group together because Carmax was my friend first and Kiki was my friend first. So, and I brought them together and I was like, let's all be a friend group. So time goes by, I noticed that Kiki and Carmax started distancing themselves from me. And I was kind of confused because, like, me, like, you know, I'm Nigerian. I don't go anywhere, like, if it's home to school, school to home, home to school, school to home. I don't go over nobody's house. I don't do none of that. So I'm like, so, like, it couldn't have been because of any reason like that, you know what I mean? So I'm like, one day I was like, oh, Kiki, why are you distancing yourself from me? And it turns out that Carmax had been feeding stuff in her ear that I was talking junk about Kiki. Like, Carmax was telling Kiki that, oh, you know what Monty said about you, you know what she said. And I was like, so keep that in mind that I was always home. So I'm like, what time of the day that we wasn't together that I would be saying stuff like this about you? And so Carmax was like, that, oh, you said it to me through text. Like, I was like, show me the text. Like, show me the text. She couldn't show me the text. She said she deleted them, which was a cap. Like, she was capping on me, basically. She just wanted Kiki to be her best friend instead of my best friend. So I was like, in elementary school, you really care about friendships. Like, not elementary school, middle school, you really care about friendships. Like, it means a lot to you to have friends. So I was like, okay, but I was to talk about her. But long story short, Kiki stopped being friends with me. See, Kiki and Carmen stopped being friends with me because of all the stuff that Carmex was feeding into Kiki's ear that I was saying about her, which was untrue, like, which was false, like. So because of all that stuff and everything, Kiki and Carmex stopped being my friend, and I've really cared about that. Like, I was really upset, highly upset about them not being my friends anymore. So what I did was, we got to one class that we all had together. All three of us had that class together. We used to sit together, but then when they became not my friends, I would sit alone. So one day when we was in that class, I passed a note. So I wrote a note saying, I believe, like, hey guys, like, I'm sorry. I don't know what I did to y'all. Like, y'all acted like this. And and I passed it to them. Like, you did that thing that you walk by their desk, like you better go to the shopping or something, and you drop it on their desk. So I did that, and then they would pass notes. We would pass the notes back and forth, pass the notes back and forth. And I was meaning for the notes to go to Kiki, but Carmix was the one who was responding to me. So Carmix, I don't know if she just automatically or suddenly just had a grudge against me. I don't know what happened, but Carmix just, she was just hating on me. The whole messages, all the messages that she was sending to me was hating. Like, she was really violating me through these messages, like. And I'm sitting there, like, tearing up, because I'm like, damn, like, I'm really gonna lose friendships like this, like, because I never lost friends like that before. Like, me talking junk, like, what? I was like, oh nah. So I remember the last message that she wrote to me. I don't remember the messages specifically. I don't know what we were saying back and forth, but I know that I was apologizing and Carmex was denying it on behalf of both of them. So I remember the last message that Carmex and Kiki sent to me was, oh, like, dropped off on my desk, was like, oh, something. And at the end of the message, it said Toodles. Like, Toodles, like High School Musical, Sharpay Toodles. And I was like, oh, when I saw that Toodles, the Toodles made me cry. The Toodles made me cry, because I was like, oh, I was like, no. I was like, no, like, there's no possible way that they're telling me Toodles right now. Like, come on. So I started crying in the middle of class. My teacher came over to me, asked me why I was crying. So I started showing my teacher the messages, or not messages, the notes, back and forth. I showed them to her. She was tight that we was passing notes in the beginning, and like in the first place. She was like, "Why are you passing notes in my class?" But I was like, I really had to tell them this. So she brought all three of us out the room, and my teacher was mad cool. She was a vibe. So basically, she was talking to Kiki, and she was like, "Why are you guys doing this? Like, basically, why are you guys violating Mati like this? Like, why are you guys doing her like this?" And they were like, and Kiki was like, because Carmex told me that Monty was talking junk about me. And my teacher was like, so Carmex, basically she was like, so Carmex, you're a snitch? And Carmex was like, and so I was like, so I was trying to mimic her stuttering. And my teacher was like, Mati, enough. And I was like, and I started cackling. I went to the room. So that day was done, The next day comes, and Carmex is being real brutal, real bully type. Like, I don't know what came over her that night, but she was being real bully type. Like, she would walk past me in a hall, bump my shoulder. She would, real corny stuff. Like, when I would walk by, she would scuff, like, or like, ew, say some stuff like ew and gross and ugly. Like, it was to the point that it went on like that for like a couple of days, and then I was like, yo, like, you got a problem? Like, what's your problem? What's your issue? And she was like, you're just ugly. And I was like, if that's the case, that should bother me, not you. Which it wasn't the case because, baby, I'm not ugly. Ugly where? Never been that. So I don't know what she was. I don't know what her deal was. So come to the end of the day, and then a whole bunch of girls started coming to me, saying, yo, Mati, Carmex wants to fight you. I was like, this is my first time ever being like recruited to fight. I don't know what to call it. Recruited to fight or anything. So I was like, what do you mean she wants to fight me for? Why? They were like, I don't know, Carmen wants to fight you today after school. So me being bold, like the guy that I like was in the room. I was like, she knows where to find me. Like I'll be on the field. So in my middle school, there was 2 middle schools. So there was like let's say 2 middle schools being air conditioner and towel. So middle school, air conditioner and towel. In the middle of air conditioner and towel was a field, and that's the field we were gonna meet in. So I was like, you know where I'll be at? I'll be at the field. So after school comes, yo, I'm shitting bricks. My stomach is hurting. Like I was like, am I gonna fart during this fight? Like this is too much. I was scared. Like my sister was in the same school as me, so I don't know where my sister was at, but she was not around, I don't think, like unless she saw the fight and I didn't even peep her. But she was not around. I don't know where she was. But after school, I walk into the field. Everybody follows me. All the people follow me, and the boy I liked followed me. So I was like, oh my God, this is really my time to show out. Like this is what I have to do. Like I have to really whoop her ass in order for me to not get bullied no more. Like I really have to show out. Like I have to show out with the fist. You feel me? Like I was like, all right, Pat. So I get to the field. I'm shitting bricks. I was like, I stood there for 2 minutes, and I was like, if she's not gonna show up, I'm about to be out. Like, cause then I started getting mad anxious because she took so long to show up. In my head, it was 2 minutes, but it felt like 2 hours she was taking to show up. I was like, if she's not about to show up, I'm about to be out. And everybody's like, over here, chill, like chill. And I was like, no, like, I'm about to be out. Like, you guys know, you all saw me here. I was really just going onto the field to show face. Like, I didn't want to be the pussy that didn't show up to their own fight. So I was like, yeah, like, you already guys know, like, I'm already here, but she's not here. She's not coming. So right when I picked up my bag to be out, she started walking. I peeped her walking. Everybody was like, she was walking mad slow, mad sturdy. She was like, I was like, oh shit. When I saw her, I felt like my spirit escaped my body for some reason. Like it was not coming back. Like so, I was just I was so scared. I didn't gonna lie, like I was scared out my mind. Like I was like, I'm really not about to get my ass whooped in front of my friend, like in front of the whole school, and then in front of the boy I like. It was clipped. Like I was like, there's no way I can't. There's no way I can't. In front of the boy I liked. Chill. And on top of that, he liked me too. Yo, it was over for that. So I was like, I had no choice, yo. So I was standing on the field. She comes up to me after like 30 minutes of walking, it felt like. And the school was right here. It was like right here. The field was right here. So it felt like 30 minutes of her walking. It was probably like 5 seconds, 15 seconds, but it felt forever. And so she came up to me. She was like, so what was you saying? So what was all that shit you was talking about in the hallway? And I was like, in the hallway where you bumped me and I said you got a problem? I was like, in the hallway. She was like, yeah. She was like, something. She started cussing at me. At this point in my life, I ain't know nothing about cussing. I didn't know you have to talk shit before a fight. Like, so I'm like, when she started cussing at me, talking about be this, be that, I'm like, what is she even talking about? Like, what is she doing? Is she trying to like provoke me? So after all that cussing, she swings on me. She clocks me in my chin, and I'm like, oh. And so I feel like I'm about to cry. Yeah, I feel like I'm about to cry. So I'm like, oh, this is what that feels like. I was like, but I was already very tough because, you know, I have a Nigerian mom. Like, my Nigerian moms would do you, like, a little pow pow. I was a little tough. I felt like I was going to cry, but I held that shit in. I was not about to be a pussy on a film. My mom ain't raised no bitch, period. So I get to swinging back. But I was so scared. Like, this whole thing happened right after school. My mom always came late to pick me up. So I timed it specifically before my mom came. So, like, you know what I'm saying? She always came late. Luckily, my mom always came late. So she didn't see this happening. She didn't wait for me. Nothing. So if my mom didn't always come late, this probably would have never happened. But so it's technically her fault. So she, to this day, she doesn't know that this shit happened. She doesn't know. So we get to fighting, and I'm so scared that my mom is gonna notice like a mark or something on my face that I'm swinging on her, but I'm swinging with my head down and my eyes closed. So I'm fighting like this, and for some reason, for some way, somehow, I don't know if it was God, I don't know what it was, but I'm clocking her, like I'm rocking her shit, like I'm beating her ass, y'all. Like, she ain't never had a fight like this. Like, she ain't never had a fight like that before. So she was like, you know, I'm clocking her shit, I'm rocking her shit, I'm like, pow, 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 pow. But obviously with my eyes closed and my head down. Next thing you know, I feel her fall on the ground. So I'm like, oh yeah. So I feel her fall on the ground. I get on top. I'm start whooping her ass. And so the guy I like came out the crowd and was like, yo, Monty, fair fight. And he was doing this. I didn't know what fair fight means, but he was going like this. So I'm assuming he was telling me to get off her. So I got off her. And she got up. She started fixing her hair. Me too. I was fixing my hair, trying to look cute for the man, like the man who told me to get off. I'm like, and she was like, nah, round two. So I'm like, round two, go ahead, let's go. Cause right now my adrenaline, I'm like, you want more? Right now my adrenaline is pumping. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm ready. I feel like I could rock her at any time. Like, I'm like, she won't talk shit to me no more. Like, I'll clock her in the mouth. I'm feeling real hype. Like, I'm real gassed. Everybody in the crowd is hyping me up. They're like, damn, Monty really whooped her. Monty really, So I'm like, okay, babe. I was like, but then I see my mom coming down the hill. So I was like, oh, nah. I was like, no. I was like, I'll fight you tomorrow after school at the same time, same place. But I'm not fighting you today. I'm tired. So after that, I like took my bag, ran out the crowd, and ran to the front of the school where my mom always knows to pick me up. So I was standing in front of the school for some, I don't know where my sister was. I don't know if she was homesick. I don't know, but like, my mom picked me up. I went home. I acted like nothing happened. I'm pretty sure if I told my mom that I did fight this day, she would have had it handled and situated for me. But I acted like nothing happened. I went home. I did my homework. I did all that. The next day comes. I'm scared. I'm scared again. It's like I'm fighting for the first time again. I'm scared all over again. I'm like, damn, I hope she don't whoop my ass today. I was like, at least I won 1 out of 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I walk into school. And the first class we have together, I look back and she's not there. And so I'm like, what? And so I'm looking, after school comes, she's not here. So she wasn't there the next day, until the week ends. The next week she pops up. The next week she comes. So I'm like, oh. And when she sees me, she pretends she never met me before in her life. She sees me, she looks down, she looks away, she looks like to the side, whatever. Acting like she never seen me before in her life. Like, she never met me before, we never been friends, all of that. So I'm like, oh, this is what it feels like. This is what the people of Bel Air living like, this might be all right. You know what, that's why I'm commenting it below. But yeah, like, she pretended that she never saw me. And I guess the next year decided when she wanted to get buff again because we wasn't in the same cluster anymore. So that's when she started doing that same petty stuff. But I wasn't going to fight her again. Like, like, time goes on, people move on. Like, I wasn't gonna fight her again. She started doing that petty stuff again, walking past me, going, and she did this all up until my senior year of high school, before I went to college. And that as my senior year of high school, I almost fought her again, over the stuff that happened in middle school. She was still tight, yo. She was still tight, because she started talking when, I'll tell you guys about that another day, but she, you know, she be talking that talk, can't, like, for no reason. I don't know what her problem was with me. Like, I really don't know what her problem was with me. And it wasn't even like I was yapping at the mouth. Like, I wasn't talking about her in high school. Like, high school is a whole new ball game. Like, I don't have time to be beefing with you. Like, I'm sitting here in honors classes and, like, classes like that, and you're sitting there in, like, the bottom of the barrel, like, classes. Like, you're sitting there in classes below standard classes. So why are you sitting there pressed on me? And it's crazy because the first time I told this story time, I ended up seeing her. She came, like, I went to Subway and she came to Subway. It's so crazy. The first time I told this story time, I don't know, there's so many angels around me, y'all. So, like, there's so many angels around me that, like, nobody can even penetrate my barriers, but they also be hearing what I'm talking about. So when I talk about somebody, they be popping up. So let me just say it like that. That's what happened. My first fight ever. I whooped her ass on accident. So if you guys like my video, if you guys like this content, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe, y'all. I'm trying to get up there. Y'all know you like me. Y'all know y'all with me. If you want to see more of my story times, please subscribe. I have so many story times, y'all. So many story times. If you want anything, if you want college advice, if you want high school advice, if you want middle school advice, dorm advice, anything, like, I'm down for whatever. I can even prank my mom. I can prank my African mom for y'all. But thank you guys for watching. These are two of my story times that I've done about my dorm, about one of my suite mates in my dorm. And that's the time I got played, not the suite mate in my dorm. And this is how you subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe to me. Just click that button. Easy, like, it's light work. Just click the button. Just click my face, and that's done. You know what I'm saying? So I'll catch you guys on the flip. Thank you guys for watching. So peace, P-E-A-C-E, peace to the Middle East. Go planet.